Okay, so in this video, what I want to do is I want to handle another part of the surveying of the land kind of process that I haven't covered yet, which is citations. And citations, for whatever reason, for a lot of people, I don't know why it doesn't ever click in their brain, but they're very difficult for people to understand what they are. But in all reality, they're incredibly simple in what they actually are. So a citation is no more than a business being cited online. Okay, so let me give you an example. If I was to type in try for Eugene, you'll notice that there's their name, try for auto glass and window tinting, their address, okay, and their phone number. Now, citations are only important as it pertains to these Google Maps, okay? Say that again. Citations are only important as it pertains to these Google Maps. So this is the map that we talk about. So these obviously, this is very expensive or very valuable real estate for a business. So if a business is listed up here, or your lead gen site, if you choose to put a lead gen site into something like this, obviously being here and being here, you're controlling some pretty impressive real estate. So when we speak of citations, and we'll get into them more in depth down the line, but when we speak of citations, we're talking about the name, the address, and the phone number that has been cited on this Google local. We're going to teach you all the awesome ninja Google optimization tricks in weeks to come. But the bottom line is this is the anchor. This is the place where you put that information first, okay? When you're doing it for a business owner, or you're doing SEO as a service, or you're doing your lead gen site, and this Google My Business is where you anchor this name, address, and phone number. And then every other place on the web that you put your name, address, and phone number is basically validating to Google that, hey, this is a legit, place. Like, look how many other places are saying that this place exists, and this place has the same name, address, and phone number. Now, imagine if you're Google and you're trying to pinpoint all this information in all these different places, and if the information was incorrect, like on one site it's this, and on another site there's a different phone number and what have you, then the business seems less legit. It seems less, as a normal business would be listed. It's all over the place. Or if they only have their business only listed here, and it's not listed anywhere else on the web, it's like they haven't made much of an effort to cite themselves. The other thing about citations, is they're done in like directories, so Yellow Pages and Yelp and different places like that is where those get cited. And so those places in and of themselves are also roads in to potential traffic and phone calls and what have you for your business or your lead gen site. Okay, if you're doing SEO, if you're doing lead gen. So I want to show you a tool. The tool is called Whitespark. Oops. Here it is right here. It's whitespark.ca to go to it. Okay, there's a paid version and a free version. I'm going to show you the differences between the two. But for just getting the lay of the land, getting your due diligence done on if you want to be going into a market, whether it's for an SEO client and you're going to take them on and try to figure out what to charge, or whether you're doing a lead gen project and you're going to decide to go into this cog of the wheel and get into the Google local listings, which is completely up to you. I want to show you how you use this citation finder. So I've went ahead and done a couple searches because they do take about 60 seconds. But you'd go over to business search. Well, first, let's go back here. You go over to services. Okay. Oops, excuse me. You go to tools. My mistake. Local citation finder. Find more citations. You click that. Okay. Now you need to make an account. You can make a free account. Okay. And once you make your free account, you can go and do a local citation finder. Oh, and here's another good thing. If you still don't understand what a citation is, they give you a good little information there. All right, so where'd they put this thing? I'm on it on the other page. So we want to choose plan. So here we are. So you're going to go ahead and put a business search in. Okay, and you can do 3 searches a day on the free version, as the page below said that, which is fine. For you finding your first niche, that's no problem. Okay, so in the instance of what I'm telling you guys in this due diligence worksheet, I'm saying get the number of citations for the top 3 local listings, okay? So if we were to go over to window tint, so we can just stay consistent with this, even though this is not really a phone-driven business, people drive into this. So this would be like more of like an SEO type of a deal, but whatever. Let's say we're looking at this, we might be taking a client on. I would want to get the information on how many citations Trifer has, Darkside, and Original Glass Tinner. Now, citations alone are not what only make you be number 1, number 2, and number 3, but they have an effect on it, okay? So the better you do at citations and the better you outrank or outdo your competitors in citations, the better chances you have of doing better in here. But there is a ton of other factors, and I'm going to cover that in the next video. Bottom line is, I went over and I used that citation finder, and here are the results that I have. So believe it or not, I'm number 1 at 63, or my prior business was at 63 citations. These guys have made some strides recently, but as you noticed on some of the stuff I taught you before, is those other factors are still playing in. Backlinks, amount of content, the lack of content on these sites, the optimization. I'm going to cover that coming up on the Google My Business. So all these things come into account. So I would just simply take this data and I'd say, if I wanted to go and compete in this marketplace, I would put, okay, this is my number 1. They're ranked number 1 in the maps. So I'm going to go over to my due diligence worksheet and I'm going to put their domain and their citations. Then I'm going to put number 2 and their citations. So it would just look like this. I'd come over here. I could copy their website, copy link. I would come back over to my due diligence worksheet. I would paste it. Oops, I took the wrong one. It's Eugene Window Tinting. Okay, and then I would put the amount of citations they had. Okay, so they had 63, I think. 63, 84, 28. So 63, 84, and 28. Okay? So this gives me an idea if I want to, obviously being number 1 doesn't simply mean citations, but they're competitive, and I think in the last like month or so this Darkside has made their move up. So you put their, I don't know what their domain is. I can go back and look, and make sure you put this stuff in correctly so you have this data. But I want to see, like, what's the competition look like? Okay, how hard is it going to be to beat the number 1, number 2, and number 3 in citations if I want to move and inch them out of these top spots? Or if I'm taking on a client, maybe I'm taking on this client, let's just say, for the sake of this conversation, I wouldn't do that. But let's just say I would want to boost this client, if I was taking them on for SEO, I would want to get as many citations. I want to beat out these other competitors because I do know it's one factor in those local maps. It's one factor. And if I can dominate on all facets from what I taught you in the previous videos, which was content and backlinks and age, possible, probably not, and then citations as it pertains to this local listing, then I want to do that. Now, if you're not going to do this local listings for a client, maybe you have like a national client and this isn't part of it, you can scrap this whole citation thing if looking up the citation thing. Or if you're doing a lead gen property and you're just like, hey, listen, I don't want to deal with the headache of getting the local maps and getting an address and the whole deal, then you don't have to fill in this for your due diligence, okay? But if you plan on doing SEO for a client and you're trying to help them move up in the maps, these citations are a factor. And so knowing who the top 3 are in your marketplace and where they're sitting from a citation standpoint is really, really good data to have. And this is the tool that you'll use to find it. So with that being said, I'm going to go into a little bit more depth of how to identify low-hanging fruit in those map locations specifically, past just the citation source. All right, we'll see you on the next video. Peace.